Welcome. I am Laureen Quick. I am delighted today to be here with Laura Burkey as part of our ongoing conversations leading up to the Next Chapter Summit happening this coming July 9th through 12th. This July, our summit theme is Independence After 50. And I'm not talking about independence in terms of isolation or self-sufficiency, but as a focus for us on learning how to remain connected to ourselves while at the same time staying deeply connected to others. One of the things that many women discover during times of transition is that what once felt familiar no longer feels quite the same. Our roles change, our relationships shift, our children grow up, our careers evolve or even come to an end. And sometimes without even realizing it, a woman could find herself wondering, who am I now? Where am I now? And what feels true to me moving forward? We often assume the answer to this question is to reinvent ourselves, to become someone new. But what if the deeper invitation is not reinvention at all? What if it is an invitation to reorientation? The word orientation, from what I know, originally referred to finding one's position in relation to the rising sun. So locating yourself in relationship to something steady enough to guide yourself or to navigate by was the initial meaning. Laura's work invites us to think about the word orientation in a much deeper way through her work exploring language, identity, and personal transformation. She helps people recognize that many of the qualities, values, and truths that they are seeking may not be missing at all. They may simply be outside our conscious awareness. Today's conversation is entitled Orientation, Reconnecting to What is True. Together, we'll explore what it means to reorient ourselves during seasons of change, how reorientation differs from reinvention, and how women can begin to reconnect to what has been true for them all along. Laura, I am so delighted you are here. Thanks for joining. I am going to just jump right into my first question to get the conversation started. So, Laura, what does the word orientation mean to you? And why does it feel like such an important concept for women in the second half of life?
Orientation is important for anybody, not just women 50 and older, who have found themselves in this quite transitional place. Orient, so as you said, and you gave the definition, anyone can go look it up. The definition is going to say to, however you said it exactly, because I don't focus on the definition, I focus on etymology. But it is kind of like to position yourself. This is how most of us use orient, to position myself in a particular way, to do a particular thing. That's great and fine. Continue doing that. But there's more power in that word, which is what I'm about. And so if you go to long, long ago, even before there were words and there was a dictionary that told you, here's a word and here's its definition, orient was practiced, it was embodied, it was used, that word, the meaning of that word, in a way of facing east. This is a very common in many, many religions, to face east to pray to your God. And in some cultures, the sun is God, and in others it's not, but still it was to face east. Why face east? And there is this word, the Orient is in the east, right? Isn't it? So it's interesting, geographically, the Orient is in the east, and we orient ourselves to the east. It meant to face the light, the sun, to rise is really the etymology. The etymology of orienting is facing in a direction for our rising. And the sun So geographically, we know we call it the Orient, but we are looking toward the sun, facing the sun, because the light of the sun has a lot of symbolism. And so that's what Orient means to me. It is, and I'll say it in short, in like everyday speak. Orienting yourself is actually turning, and you used the word earlier, truth. It's turning towards your truth. It's turning really towards yourself. You are the light, not
And
turning
so,
outward or any other direction.
and so when we reorient, we are reorienting to our truth, our inner knowing
Mhm. Mhm.
of who we are,
Yep.
what we want, and how our life should be.
Yes.
Yes. And all of that is not brand new. All of that has been there all along. We just got a little distracted by other things going on in our lives. And as we turn 50 and into our 60s and 70s, those distractions have fallen away. So now is our time to truly reorient. Yes.
Yes.
So let's take this a little deeper. And, we've talked about orient and reorient, but how do these terms differ from the word reinvention, which is a term we hear all the time? You've
Mhm.
got to reinvent yourself. How are these words different?
So invent literally means to create something new. Something that doesn't exist, invent it to exist. So invention really is about creating something new. And what I would want to encourage any woman listening to this is you're not new. Your desires, your dreams, your truth isn't new. You came in with these. You've evolved these. These are a part of you. It's what makes you you. The only thing that happened was a turning away from you. No shame on that, because, women who raise a family, who are married, who have jobs, and we are dutiful servants. I think it's beautiful about women. So they are wanting to contribute and give. So what happens largely, and especially in today's world, you turn away from yourself. You orient away from you, and you're doing all of the service. And so you can forget what do I like? What does turn me on? What am I actually passionate about? Because you're doing all these other things. So reinvention to me, I don't love that. Personally, I don't resonate with I'm going to reinvent myself. Like, I'm literally in this stage. I have my final daughter going to college, and I am now full blown empty nester, and my career is taking on a completely different identity of what I'm about. So I'm really one of the women in this audience of your summit, and I would not use the word reinvent, and I don't even think reinvent. I actually think now I get to go back. I get to come back to me, which is what's always been. She's been left, forgotten, neglected, dare I say, forsaken.
Mhm. And so it's really about remembering.
It's about remembering. And to remember, just to kind of, because it's powerful to know this, always means to return, like redo, reorient, in etymology, in the stuff, all the, whatever you call those little things. Always means to return. And member is mind and mental. Member is also parts of you. So my hand is a member of my body, my leg is a member of my body, but so are my dreams, my desires, my natural gifts, my essence. Those are parts of us. So to remember is return to and bring them back into the one member that is I.
Wow. Wow. And so my last question for today's conversation is, so what helps a woman begin to remember? What helps her to reconnect with what is already true with them? What advice would you give us today?
I would give this advice. There's two things I would say, and you use this word, true. To be true, to be honest. Those are two different words. They have slightly different meanings, but to be true to you, to be honest with you. That's the first step. If you feel like, where am I going to go now? Be honest and true about what you really care about, what's really interesting to you, what grabs you, what energizes you. Be honest about that, and be truthful about that too. Um, in short, know thyself. So the first thing to do is come back to know, who am I? What am I? You opened this conversation with those very questions.
Yeah.
It's not who do I want to be? It's no, who am I? That's being honest and true. Who am I?
Yes.
And the second bit of advice is get quiet and still, because your soul speaks in stillness. Or rather, I like to say stillness speaks. When you are still, the soul will speak, your soul. And you will hear, you'll get downloads, you'll get intuitions, you'll get ideas and thoughts that are the one that you have turned away from, you reoriented away from, it now has your ear because you're not chasing it and looking for it elsewhere and from somebody else. It's between you and you. I like to say, there's you, your real you is your higher self. And then there's the person here that plays the role of you. Those two get to now be in conversation, but you can only have it and hear it in silence. So I'm not going to say go meditate, even though that's what meditation can do to also be quiet. Have moments where you're just like, I'm quiet. I'm not going to talk and I'm not going to think. And your soul is like, I got the room, I got the mic. And then you're going to start hearing things, remembering things, feeling things, and you're like, and it's going to feel beautiful. It's the rising light. That's what you're going to feel.
And like you said, it doesn't mean you have to go on a 10-day meditation retreat. It means, oh, I'm going to take my coffee or my morning tea outside and sit on the patio and just be still
Yes.
and listen.
Yes.
Just listen.
Go for a walk in nature, go lay on your bed and just stare at the ceiling. And yes, you could also go on a 10-day silent retreat. You could do that. If the self calls for it and says, listen, get in the car, get a bag, get in the car and go those three towns over and go to that silent retreat you've always wanted to go to. It could be that too. You just got to listen to yourself. Trust yourself.
You are wiser than you know. Most definitely. This has been a lovely conversation, and I know we're just getting started. Laura, thank you for being here today. I truly appreciate so much about you, but especially your perspective about words and the meaning and the power behind them. I think many of us, we arrive at our second half of life believing that we need to become someone new, and we've kind of just blown that up out of the water. That's not what you need to do, and that's not what you have to do. It is really that you return to who you are in your heart, in your soul, in your essence, your being. And you shared that so beautifully today. So thank you for being here and sharing with us. For those of you that are listening, if any of this resonated, we would love to have you join us because Laura is going to be a speaker at our July Next Chapter Summit. She is actually going to be joining us on Sunday, July 12th, and her conversation is going to be a conversation that is amazing, amazing. So join us. So join us. That's all I'm going to say about that right now. Laura, again, thank you. For those listening, if you are curious at all about the summit, please check out the link in the show notes to this video. It will give you a page that describes what all is happening and all the details you could possibly want, and then a registration link as well, where you can sign up to join us. It's free, and I promise you it will be life-changing for you, and life-changing for all the women who come together in this community. Thanks again for listening. And you all have a beautiful day. We will connect later. I believe that will happen soon.